Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is MSR Spiritual Phoenix. Alright, today is a different type of video. I was told to do this video by my guides, alright. It's time, alright. So there's something called the New World Order, the new proclamation that America is basically going under right now, okay? This is basically what we are basically living in right now, what we are condoning, what we are experiencing at the moment, okay? 1919, 2020, all right, a new start, a new world, all right, a new cycle, all right? So this is about a dream I had maybe a month and a half ago, all right? I was told to broadcast these dreams, okay? It's specific dreams that I had. Every dream that I have, I write them down, okay? So that I can basically come into recollection of what I'm seeing, experiencing, and sensing through the dream state, all right? So the dream that I had, basically, it was basically, I don't know what to call it, like a test day. It was like a whole bunch of children, their parents, their siblings, things of that nature, all called to get checkups, all right? So these kids, or the youth, all right, they were waiting in this type of facility, this building, which actually, now that I think of it, represented a jail, okay? If you see those movies where you'll have like the guard at the top and they're watching over the inmates, sort of like that, very high secured place here, okay? I remember in the dream, it was my mom, my sibling, myself here. It was a whole bunch of people that I had recollection of, or that I remembered from my past here, but it was so many more people. We were all in this place, okay, getting checkups for some reason. It was almost as if the whole world, the whole community was called this day to come in and do this type of ceremony, I want to call it, all right? So basically what was happening was the children were going in for checkups, or I guess, I keep hearing DNA, all right? So something about these kids here, or the generations to come, there's a lot of children that were actually, they're actually born in the last upcoming years. I'm hearing the last 5 years, okay? These kids have very special abilities. These kids will have genes, genetics, and DNA configurations that have not been seen in a very, very long time here, okay? When you bring in these type of energies here, of course, it's to uplift the collective in ways that help optimism spread, okay? Because without optimism, without the basically ability to expand your mind into new horizons and understand different theories, theocracies, things of that nature, it's kind of hard for an entity or an energy to expand in the way that they want here, okay? Or the way that they need to, in order to help and uplift the vibrations of Mother Nature, the earth, all right? So in this video, or in the video, all right, it's interesting because it was almost as if you guys seen the show on Netflix, it is Black Mirror, a lot of predictive programming, but basically a society, whereas we sort of work on, or work by the structure of social media or the structure of where you are in a three-dimensional basis to I guess things that will get you a job. So in one show that I seen, it was almost as if, okay, if you said good things about the government, if you were, you know, a good Samaritan, quote unquote, because there's yin and yang and everything, all right? What's good for you will be bad for someone else, and what's bad for you may be good for someone else, all right? But it was almost as if I'm just hearing the mark of the beast is coming, all right? But in this dream, I don't want to sound too scatterbrained here because I'm kind of just, I have notes here, but this is actually my first time really publicizing this dream or my dreams at all. All right, it was like the kids would go in the room, I was waiting, all right? So it was a lot of scattered people, almost as it looked like a pandemic here, all right? It was almost as if the world was made to basically go get checkups, okay? I remember my mom and my sister in the dream, they actually went to go get checked, all right? So you go in the room and it was really weird, all right? So everyone got checked before me. I went in the room here. I remember my mom, it was like a huge facility. It represented like a jail. I'm getting, all right? Getting very strong, like, energies from this, okay? I know this may bring a lot of controversy or things of that nature, but if I am called to speak, I must speak. And so you go in the room and there's like police officers there, almost as if they look like spies, investigators, all right? People of very high class that we would consider them, okay? These people were actually beating the children, okay? Some kids were getting raped. But I remember finally it was my turn to go get a checkup, all right? Or to go get silenced, all right? So they would ask you questions. I can't recall what questions they would ask you here. I remember, okay, so the only way I can kind of bring in a parallel is if any of you guys have seen When They See Us or any type of movie here where there's some type of injustice here, whereas you've committed a crime, all right, whether they know you did it or you didn't do it at all, okay, and they beat you to basically get you to go with the verdict that they want you to. And it seems as if this was all a systematic approach to silence the youth, to scare the youth, to you know, for the youth to basically know that they're not protected, they are not safe, okay? Not only did the youth go into this facility to get beaten, all right, raped, and some of them killed, all right, beaten to death, killed, raped, all right? And since it was from a higher political standpoint here, no one would know, no one would care, it would be covered up here, okay? Of course, we have all these missing children that basically are surrounding our lands here, and we have no idea what's happening to them. I don't know, I find this to be very malicious, but kind of funny here because it's all in our face the whole time. We've been getting prepared for this, all right? So I actually went in the room, okay? Usually when I have dreams, I'm a very, very lucid dreamer here. So say for instance, I got in a car crash or I got shot in a dream here or stabbed, I would feel it when I wake up, okay? So in the dream, you know, they asked me some questions. It's almost as if a bowing down type of standpoint here. I'm like sitting on the ground, the concrete, because you know, and they're asking you questions, and if you answer the question wrong, or if you don't comply or say the answers that they find to be I guess the right answer for the public, the world, all right, then they abuse you here. So I was kicked in my ribs, I was punched to the ground here, things of that nature, all right. I remember in the dream, my mom was, before I even came up, she was talking and she's like, they're killing the kids and things of that nature. And I remember just telling her like, shh, you know, like be quiet or something. So I went up and I experienced it for myself, okay. Crazy enough, every single kid that was walking out of the facility, because of course they let you go, they actually had crutches waiting for them. I remember my little sister was on crutches here. So weird how the dream ended. I remember it was almost like in my dreams I see everyone type of thing, like kind of like every standpoint of everyone, even though it's like my dream. I can't explain what I'm saying. I know some of you will definitely get it here, okay. But it was almost as if, I remember I was, of course, it was almost as if I could like astral project in my dream, duh. But I was sitting, I was waiting, but I remember going into my mom's auric field or whatever in the dream, and she was asking the clerk, like, you know, how is this happening, or how are you guys letting this happen? And the clerk was basically saying, I guess because there's someone there who basically records DNA, or basically records what's going on, keeping records of what's going on here, okay. The men that was in interrogation, I would call it an interrogation here, it just reminded me of like kind of forcefulness. They would ask you questions, they would beat you, they would rape you if they wanted to, anything they wanted to do here. And it was almost as if it was okay. It was completely okay. Nobody was going to talk about it because it was happening to everyone here, okay. So basically just taking it here, okay. That's what we were doing in the dream. But I remember my mom asking, she was like, how are you letting this happen? And she was like, well, you guys don't even know, there's people. She was like, well, you should be lucky, you know, there's kids, they're dying. There's like a lot of kids dying. Like I'm seeing her record like the bodies and things, and I have no idea what they're doing with that. Or, you know, I remember one girl saying that she had got raped and things of that nature, or she it was a crazy dream, okay. So after that, I remember they left me in the room in the dream here, and of course I made an escape plan, or I just left the room here, of course, because I ran down the stairs and I just told my mom and my sister, I'm like, just be quiet. And it was so weird because by the time I had gotten in the room, everyone else was gone from the everyone else was basically gone, all right. So just my mom and my sister waiting for me. My sister was on crutches, she was in severe pain, okay. And these are like children we're talking about, from like 5 and up, all right. They had parental figures here, okay. It was almost as like a scare tactic to the parents as well, to basically tell you, basically, we can do whatever we want to your children, and there's nothing you can do about it, because you can't go to the government because we're the one that's doing it, all right. So it was kind of really shitty. I remember we go back to the car, and my sister, I'm kind of trying to tell them, like, you know, we need to hurry up and leave here, all right. My sister, she's like in pain and she's like limping. They were gonna give me crutches, all right. So it was almost as if they planned to hurt you. They planned to leave an impact on your life, all right. So of course I escaped. I had been kicked in the ribs here. I had been punched to the ground, slapped to the ground, whatever. We get in the car here, we're leaving, all right. I remember my mom calling this person. It was like her best friend here, but it was like the dream reminded me kind of like the Matrix, all right, because this best friend, when I have dreams, okay, there's a lot of times I'll see familiar spirits. Familiar spirits is someone sorry guys, I'm kind of nervous, I don't know why. I guess I'm feeling the energy, all right. But they're basically spirits that you're familiar with, so that basically if these spirits wanted to harm you, things of that nature, you would have some type of pull or connection to them, so that you wouldn't see what was behind their motives or in their subconscious, all right, or in their auric field. Okay, usually familiar spirits are actually look it up, okay? So Jezebel spirits, familiar spirits, things of that nature, okay? Things that people are familiar with, all right? Things that people do in a group, things that people would consider to be socially acceptable, all right? Familiar spirits, familiar energy, familiar auric eggs here, all right? But she calls this friend up. Never seen a friend a day in my life, but this was her best friend. I could tell in the dream, and she's talking to him about everything that happened. Funny enough, when she hung up the phone, there was someone who called him. It was like a government official. The way I was viewing the dream, or the way it was like I was seeing it from like an eagle standpoint. Of course, I had my standpoint, but it was like I can see everybody's perspective, what was going on behind the scenes as well. The police had ended up calling them because I guess they were looking for us. And this is not the police, this is the CIA, things of that nature, high up here. And he was like, of course, you know, that he hadn't seen us, he hadn't talked to us, but you know, this is when my dream ended, basically. I seen basically someone literally looking at him. He was on like a computer screen, all right? So it's almost as if there were certain individuals that were picked or targeted, okay, that these people wanted to know about, all right? These people were constantly looking at their lives here. It was like they knew he was lying, because not only do they have his phones tapped, or they have our phones tapped, but they were watching him on a screen here, so they knew everything that he was actually doing. They could see him literally, all right? So then my dream ended, all right? Usually I write down my dreams here, and you know, I kind of think about them here, but since I was told to do these type of videos here, this is going to be a new series in my channel. I kind of wrote down correlations to the dream, okay? I've said some of them, all right, but they've been actually predicted. They've been programming us for these type of times for a while. I'm hearing like 10 years, a generation, okay? The next generation here, all right, these are kids that's like 8 and above here, between 8 to 13. These kids are going to show immaculate spiritual abilities, psychic abilities, intellectual prowess, way before their age. They are kids, your grandkids. They are geniuses. They are star seeds, okay? We have spiritualists, but I'm not going to speak too much on that. They're not real spiritualists. All right, you guys really need to discern and understand, okay? A spiritualist vibrates on a very high level, okay? Something, I'm not even gonna get into that because it's not my business. But in these type of times, you need to be able to basically discern spirits. You need to figure out who is for you, who is not for you, who is pretending, who is real, okay? There's going to be a lot of fake people. There's going to be a lot of spiritualists, all right? Spirituality is the new norm. It will be. It's becoming that way here. And these kids, they're actually supposed to reenact this, okay? They're actually supposed to enforce this, all right? I want to say, these kids, we've seen this before, all right? If you've seen the show Raising Deon, this kid had spectacular powers, abilities, and if you do some research, if you do studying, things of that nature, all right, psychic abilities, things of that nature, things that you see on TV, things that people are afraid of now, that's actually the lowest vibrational type of spiritual gift that you can have. So I'm almost 110% sure that the abilities such as moving things with your hands and mind control. These things are real. The only reason why I say that is because I've experienced myself reading minds, telepathic communication, very, very interesting things I've experienced firsthand here. All right. I am young myself. I'm not going to get into that because it's not important, but I just want to say you need to be prepared. You need to pay attention to your children. You need to pay attention to your grandchildren. They know plenty, plenty, plenty more than we want to perceive, to accept here. Okay, these kids are actually coming in to teach us, the older generations, how to think outside the box, how to be optimistic, how to live in a different auric field, all right, than we've been trained to live in. Okay, all of this shit is an illusion anyways, all right. But think about that show, think about Johnny Test. All right, I know a lot of you may have seen this, the show basically where there's the kid. All right, he has two genius twin sisters, Gemini energy, the messenger, okay, Mercury energy. These kids are geniuses. You have the CIA people, Mr. Black, Mr. White. All of this is in our faces, really, really, really heavily here. All right. It's almost as if when you look at Johnny Test, these kids, they're brilliant, they're intelligent, they're bright beyond their years here. You actually have CIA officials coming to them, getting gadgets, whatever from them, ideas from them here, okay? We have Phineas and Ferb here, masterminds, inventors here, okay? But you see in all the shows, the parents here, they want them to be normal, or they don't want to believe. This is a strong message, y'all, but you have to believe, because this is the only way that we're going to be able to get out the illusion, get out the matrix here. All right, I think I have one more note here. So basically these kids here, they will be the guinea pigs, they will be the tests. All right, they've been tested, they've been distracted here, because these children, these kids, all right, social media is a huge, huge distraction, okay? If you use it in the right way, of course, you can do things of this nature, spread the word, positivity, things of that nature, but they're distracted by things that are not of a valuable cause, not only to them, but to the rest of the world here, okay? In order to activate your DNA when these kids, there won't be many, all right? There's a specific few here I'm hearing that are chosen to actually activate their DNA so that they can make an impact on the world here, okay? These are the kids that will be rejected. These are the kids that will be shunned. These are the kids that no one's going to expect to have these brilliant capabilities. All right, these are the kids who may have learning disabilities, but these kids are geniuses. All right, you must understand as well here, the real definition of genius is highly, highly, highly misconstrued here. All right, the things that they teach you, the things that they want us to know, hold no real spiritual value, spiritual meaning. God himself, God is a spirit. God, all right, works not in the 3D realm, but that's another video here, all right? But these kids are the revolution. There is going to be a lot of selected kids. They will have a life path number 5, all right? You know, they're here to shake shit up. I don't want to say too much in this video. This is only my first video, but I was just told to tell you guys this. There will be a lot of people who come forward as prophets, it says it in the Bible, who come forward as spiritualists. They are not real. They won't be real. You yourself will be able to tell with your heart, not anything else. Your heart is your soul. Who is real, who is fake, who is a real messenger, a real mediator, and who is not. All right, it's no one else's job to do the discernment for you. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video.